Hey everyone, Blameko here, and this is my run of Reno's Lost Chapters Lufenia. Sorry for starting straight away. This was my I already third attempt trying not exactly this team comp, but I was trying Tidus, Rosa, and Root. So the issue I faced with my previous two tries, because I actually completed it, it's just I didn't meet one of the requirements. The issue was I had to actually, or I couldn't actually hit the HP threshold. It's only 5000 for this particular fight, and the issue I faced was because I actually brought in my friend support, and then they took the HP tick damage and then they leave. So I had no one to actually recover them, you know. So that was one of the issue I faced. So it didn't hit the 5000 threshold yet with that one friend support, but after that, towards the end, because Tidus was going continuously, the Rosa at that point of time was my healer, so she couldn't heal the damage up. And for my second run, I am not sure exactly why didn't the heal go off, because I actually finished. I mean, this is probably why, but I actually finished the boss off with Rosa, her Divine Blast or something like that, and it's supposed to heal after the attack is done. So I'm guessing it's because the game takes into consideration the attack first and then the heal. So just basically make sure you don't end with a healer. Other than that, this boss fight is not difficult. It's just really annoying when they have their stupid miss up, or when they have their recast ability failed, because that is when there's a very high chance that without any HP mitigation or reduction, there is a very good chance that your party members might die. So I actually brought Paladin Cecile instead of Rosa for this run, and it's for one very simple reason: he can overheal, which is on hindsight a mistake I feel that Square Enix did. I feel like Rosa should be able to overheal as well. I mean that there are so many healers that are, well, I wouldn't say so many, but there are quite a few healers that are able to do that. So you know, why not give a dedicated healer that ability, you know? So these bosses, they actually gain their miss thing at 79%, 49%, and 29%. There is no op for this fight, and trust me, it is still not easy to do. I actually wanted to try and brute force this particular fight. I actually brought Tidus, Garland, and Paladin Cecile, but Tidus, it was actually pretty close. I actually managed to bring them down to I believe the high 10s, so about 18%. I believe one was about 18% and one was in single digit. I believe I managed to get there. So if you really want to brute force it, I would suggest you bring someone like Terra or Lightning, so that you can pass the turn over to some other DPS. So it's not just Tidus that is your sole DPS, because at that for that particular fight, I was mainly relying on Tidus alone. So maybe someone, you can bring in a friend support that like Garland, if you can find one. So with his auras and his BT effect up, your character should be doing cap damage anyway, or almost or close to cap damage. So you can bring someone like Terra and Tidus. If not, you can always just rely on your own Paladin Cecile. He is a really great support. So right here, I actually managed to negate the very first miss effect, because when the miss is active, you have to let them take a turn. Otherwise, you just have to suffer the constant HP tick damage and reduce HP and Brave reduction on the bosses, and that's actually very manageable if you just load them with all the HP damage up, you know, Kurasame, Gabroth, Who else? Jack. I'm not sure whether Trey is still viable because he has the 2 slots, but yeah, just basically load the bosses with all the HP damage up in the world, and you won't even notice the reduction. But if you're going the same path as me and you're gonna let them take a turn and let them cleanse, we will talk about the cleansing later on, but yeah, let them cleanse all their debuffs and stuff, then the issue you'll face is that once they cleanse, they actually have, I'm not sure whether it's a further reduction or it's just because all the debuffs wear off, but yeah, you want to put your debuffs, you need to put all your debuffs back on, if not, Tidus will be hitting once. Because I actually saw it before, he actually hit for only 1. But yeah, so the debuffs, I mean the cleansing. So when they have their miss up and they are not, their recast gauge is not full, like right now, they will actually perform an attack. I believe it's there are 2 variations, but both of them are AoE and HP damage. And sorry, one is a AoE HP damage, where they will dump the HP I think 2 or 3 times, and the other one is a single target and you will HP attack twice. So you brave HP, and in between there will also be brave gain. And it's not easy to survive, but Garland did manage to survive with Iron Cecil's overheal and HP reduction. So it is possible to tank it out, but I wouldn't suggest that you do that. I mean, there's a very high chance that your character might die, especially if they're targeting the wrong character. Right here, you notice that I actually summoned and brought my friend support in very early, and that's because I wanted to get the boss down to 49% with their recast gauge full. Because if their recast gauge is full, they will not cleanse their debuff. They will do an attack called Heavy Leaf. Plus, I think, I'm not too sure whether it's plus or not. But yeah, once they do that, you will take, I think, 3 multiple brave HP damage. But if you manage to survive that, they will keep their debuffs on. So that's one way to actually make sure that your debuffs stick, is to basically let them take a turn. Because if their miss is not up and their recast gauge is not full, they most of the time will only do brave attacks. So that is something that you can take into consideration if you're letting them take turns. Unless of course they are able to one-shot your character, like they have the brave is glowing and stuff. That's when you might want to be a little bit more careful. And that actually happened to me later down the line, because they actually broke and delayed my character. And at one point in time, I believe the boss had like 500,000, and I only had Reno available to shave the brave at least. So I didn't want to retry this again. I mean, I completed it 3 times already, and and only twice did I manage. Once did I manage to hit the HP requirement. But yeah, I'll point it out later on. And the keyword because they will not do this delay thing until I believe after the second miss is up. No, sorry, just before the second miss is up. So they will say something like reading its trust or something like that, and that's when you know that there's a very high chance that single target attacks will be brave plus delay. So that's when you want to be careful, because the bosses are not fast, but they will actually because your character delays, so the whole turn order will shift. Another thing to be careful of is that when they are in their miss, they cannot be delayed by anything, including breaks. So the only way to go in front of them is to basically be to use Terra's LD, Lightning's LD, and Tidus quick hits and LD. So one of the issues that I faced was that Tidus, basically I had to maintain his EX buff, and this is something I learned actually during the fight, is that as long as the buff is active, even if it's for 1 turn, he will still perform his follow-up. The only issue is when the buff actually disappears or wear off, and that's when you actually have to reapply it. If not, he will not do his follow-up. So that's something to take note. So even if you're at 1 turn, you can still do another quick hit before you refresh the EX buff. And basically that's about it. As for team comms, there are actually many team comms. I just didn't want to actually wanted to showcase Rosa's LD, and I tried. The closest I got was when my HP threshold. I failed the HP threshold by I think 2000, and that was quite sad because basically that was my friend support HP that I couldn't heal up. Everybody else was full except for Tidus, and I was so disappointed. I was actually pretty mad also because, you know, I actually finished the fight and I failed the threshold. Oh, that was tough. But yeah. So be very careful with the HP threshold. It's very tight because there's only you can only have 5000 HP damage. Of course, if you overheal, then that's not an issue. But yeah, coming back to team comms, basically you can just bring Warrior of Light, you know, and then you basically mitigate all the HP damage, I believe, because there is no attacks that go through. At least I'm not exactly sure, but I believe there's no attacks that go through. Another way you can do this is to basically bring HP silence. They are not immune to that, you know, because once they take their turn, the mist will disappear. It doesn't matter if they act or not, I believe. So, you know, Asiela, Kefka, I believe Alnash will work too, because these bosses they also do quite a few AoE attacks, so it's pretty easy to get fear on and really make use of it. You can also just brute force it. I actually saw a video where I can't remember exactly who they bring, but yeah, like I was saying earlier, you can just brute force it. You just have to bring the right characters. I wanted to try and brute force it, but after trying, no, I was actually thinking of making another video where I brute force it, but after trying it like 5-6 times, I think I'm done with these stupid trees, castle, whatever they are, man. They are so annoying. I hate bosses that makes you allow them to take a turn, especially with this kind of stupid mechanic. I mean, with Paladin CCU active, technically I don't have to let them take a turn because they will never. I will always be within the HP threshold because first of all I'm overhealed. Second of all, Paladin CCU also grants. I think it's Paladin CCU. I can't remember if it's Paladin CCU or Reno, but one of my party members actually grants HP regen. So that's something that is actually really nice. But yeah, so basically whatever I lost, I will actually gain it back. So I will never be below the threshold. So yeah, all you have to do is just bring someone that can constantly go. Someone like I said, Terra, Lightning, you know. Maybe Core. You know, Core works really well with Tidus as well. But the only issue is that well, I guess if you're brute forcing it, then the bosses won't take a turn, so debuffs cleansing thing will not really apply. But yeah, as you saw, you know, they just cleanse after the mist. I couldn't let them get another turn, so that the recast gauge will be full. You know, that was the plan, but yeah, I couldn't get. But not an issue. At least I didn't put the most important debuff, the Kurasame's debuff on. But yes, but sorry. Right here, I actually is where the bosses actually 406,000, right? Sorry, 51,000 for 400. That would be crazy. But yeah, 51,904, and I only have Reno to clear this. And if you notice, I'm not doing much brave damage to the enemies. The reason why I had to clear this is because I wanted to use Reno's pyramid, and B was just slightly off the recast bar, so I wanted B to go. I mean, if you look at the turn order, it's actually really good. It's just that B had a lot of brave, and I was actually taking a gamble here because if I had to pyramid, then B will go, the pyramid will kick in, but I will not have another pyramid available for when the B goes into the mist mode. So that was the issue. because I know that if the bosses have I believe 30k, they will just do a HP damage, you know. And I'm not sure whether it will kill one of my party members. I wanted to play safe. I didn't want to try this again. Yeah, so I mean, so you see me spamming every single thing I could. I use Kurasami, I use the Reno's C65, all just to, you know, get as much Wreath shaved off as possible. And then I took a gamble with the EX. I mean, it was more of a calculated gamble because I knew that Reno's EX actually hit a few times, quite a few times actually. So, you know, I was banging hard on the fact that he will shave it off, and on the off chance he didn't, the Brave was actually low enough where Tidus, I believe he was targeting Tidus will be able to survive at least 1 HP attack. And then Paladin Cecil, I can, you know, time it such that Paladin Cecil will go again to heal up the damage. Or even if he doesn't, there's a passive regen going on, so Tidus should be full by the time we finish the fight. Right here you see me switching targets as well, you know. This is mainly because I wanted to finish the bosses at the same time. Because I didn't want to, you know, deal with the rage mechanic of the bosses. They will basically instantly go into the mist mode, and then I do not know what happened because most of the time I actually kill the boss almost immediately after they go into that rage mechanic of theirs. Yeah, but as you can see right here, they're more or less dead already. At this point of the fight, if you don't have overheal, then it is more of managing your health. But if you have overheal, then the fight is mainly over. You don't have to worry about your HP so much, especially if your healer is gonna go next. So yeah, right here I was just trying to finish them off, and actually towards the end of the fight, I realized a very, I wouldn't say important, but I can see it affecting the numbers. You know, I realized that I actually did not put any artifacts on my Tidus, and the reason is because I removed all the lousy artifacts that I had. Here's me just checking whether I made the HP requirement, and I definitely did. I mean, look at the health. But yeah, I got rid of all the lousy artifacts, and I forgot to equip the perfect artifacts. So you will see that my Tidus artifacts are empty. But well, that's a showcase to how important artifacts are, I guess. You know, it didn't really matter to this fight. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys are also able to finish this stupid Lufenia. It annoyed the shit out of me. But yeah, all the best, and I will see you guys in the next one.